Today we're going to be talking about heat maps, why people use them, why you should use them, why they are important, and what a lot of people use them for. All right. So there are three websites here. First one is finviz.com/map. You can also just visit the website and click on map at the top. When you click on maps, you're going to see this. So this is the most common one people use for the US stock market. Of course, TradingView has their own as well. A bunch of other platforms to have their own. The second one is NGX Market. They have their own heat map option as well. That pretty much shows you the Nigerian stock market and what the heat map for that day, week, or month is like. And then of course there is stock bubbles. I've made a separate video about this one because it's one of the ones I really like for Nigerian stocks, and it just gives you a sense of what the market is looking like for that day, or what it looked like for the day. Now let's go back to the very top. What are heat maps? Heat maps they basically turn a lot of complex data into visual data in a sense, so you can understand the market instantly. It sometimes separates the entire market into sectors like this. Now technology sector is all of this. It's this whole box, this whole section. This is technology. Consumer, cyclical, you see this, your restaurant, your home improvement, brands, your consumer defensive as well. Like, it just separates everything into sectors. So if you want to see if a sector is doing well, for example, you can pretty much use a heat map for it. So number one reason people use heat maps is quick pattern recognition, being able to actually understand what part of the market is doing well and what part is not doing well for the day. Like, if you look closely here, you're going to notice that Dangote Cement, BUA Cement didn't really move on this trading day, right? This is Tuesday, 24th March. The market did not really move for, this cement, and your oil like Seplat and Aradel didn't really move. But if you look at Airtel Africa, MTN, you see that they actually moved. Also Legend as well. Legend should be on this list, but the market cap is not really big. So the big ones you see here, these diagrams that are big, basically shows you how big the market cap of that company is. MTN is 15.3 trillion, followed by BUA, which is 14.4 trillion naira. Just like that, as you can see, the ones with the biggest market cap are usually big when you're looking at the heat map. Microsoft is big, really big. Oracle and Co. Also in the semiconductor sector, that Nvidia is the biggest, and in terms of market cap, Nvidia is like the number one company out there in the market, and then Apple as well. Then you have Google. You see, they are all big because their market caps are big. Now with this platform, with stock bubbles, it's different. Why these bubbles are big is because the trading volume for that day was huge. So if you switch from this to, if you go to settings up here and you switch this from performance to volume, you see what that looks like. You see Legend did 4.67 million units. Lasaco did 2.33 million units. As you can see, it's a lot of volume. So because it's a lot of volume, the bubbles are big in a sense. So again, people use heat maps for quick pattern recognition, also easy comparison to compare the market, also to spot trend fast. As you can see, the energy sector did really good on this day. All the stocks in the energy sector, or almost all of them, were actually green. Meanwhile, when you go to communication services, you see that most of them, also tech stocks, were red on this day. So it just helps you spot trends fast. Also, it helps to support your decisions. If you want to see what is selling off, what is doing well, technology is selling off on this day, you'll quickly be able to actually, not just decide, oh, it's only Microsoft that is selling off, but you can see here a lot of all the stocks in the technology sector were selling off on this day. Then also, a heat map can also display information compression. So what I said earlier, just grouping and also just giving you a sense of the market size for different stocks and sectors and stuff. Also better storytelling as well. I have to mention that it just shows you how the market moves visually, right? So on this day, you see that Legend Internet did really, really well. But it's not just Legend Internet, like I said. If you look closely, you notice that MTN also did well. I've talked about MTN. So if you look here, MTN came up a bit. Airtel also came up. GTCO, Presco, International Breweries as well came up a bit. But one thing you'd notice if you look closely is the only bank that actually did well on this day is GTCO. Zenith is down. UBA is also down. First Holdco is down. And I'm pretty sure if I zoom in or start poking, there are some more banks that are down. Look at Fidelity, also down, also red. So there's a story here. FCMB also down. There's a story. It just shows you that most of the banks are actually pulling back, correcting, except for GTCO. So it just gives you a sense of the market in a sense. So think of your heat map like your weather, right? Green is sunshine, good things happening, gains, right? And red basically means losses, storm, losses, and all of that. And of course, the sizes shows you how important they are in a sense. So if we come back here, MTN is really important because by market cap, it's the largest. Airtel followed by Airtel if you're looking at, the network or communication services sector. And then if you start to poke further, you start to notice that Zenith Bank is biggest among the banks, then followed by Guarantee Trust Bank, which is GT Bank, and on like that. You have your Access Corp here, which is 1.4 trillion, and then you also have your Wema Bank and Co, which recently became a what's the word for it? Stocks that are over 1 trillion naira. So that's basically what you use heat maps for. Some people check the heat map every day at the end of the trading day. Some people check it in the mornings once the market opens to see what the market is looking like for that day. Some people check in the middle of the day. There's really no formula to this thing, but heat maps tell you a visual story of how the market is looking for that day or for that week. So I hope this helps with your investing journey. I'm going to leave the links to these websites under this video so you can check them out.